Sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live the word, vibrate the word, shake the word, hum the word, breathe the word, whisper the word, sign the word, love the word. Sing it now. Sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live the word, vibrate the word, shake the word, hum the word, breathe the word, whisper the word, sign the word, love the word. Sing it now. Sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live the word, vibrate the word, shake the word, hum the word, breathe the word, whisper the word, sign the word, love the word. Sing it now. Sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live the word, vibrate the word, shake the word, hum the word, breathe the word, whisper the word, sign the word, love the word. Sing it now. Oh, 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 oh. for the skies. Opening my hands to welcome in the day. Gather in the sun's rays before I'm on my way. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole. Casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, love is the word. Moving through the day, pray no accidents arise. Giving thanks to heaven that I'm still alive. Blessing my enemies, blessing the ones I love. Praying for forgiveness for any damages I've done. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole. Casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, love is the word. Hey! Now the day is done and moon is on the rise. My trials and tribulations all bottled up inside. I summon in the love as I reach up for the skies. I command all fear and shadows be gone before my eyes. And the healing vibrations just rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole. Casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, love is the word. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole. Casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, love is the word. Okay, let's see what we got here. So, is anybody here? Just want to check in. Something's stuck. What happened? What happened?
What is... Seems to be stuck. What's going on? Hold on. What is going on? Live stream is stuck. Maybe it's my computer overloading or something. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, let's... I can see the clock ticking, so something's happening live. Something's going on. And let me get my ephemeris. Just to double check everything here. Okay, it keeps cutting in and out, cutting in and out. I'm not sure quite why. Okay, so I've got over here we are in the very last day of July. I don't know if it's going to show up or not. It rarely does. I don't really have very good cameras, to be honest. I do the best with what I can. But here we are more or less at the conjunction. That's the conjunction I was talking about. It's really more tomorrow. Tomorrow, August the 1st, is the day that I pinpointed. It's here. I call it a kind of a kaboom day. And it's coinciding very strongly with my forecasts about the subject of violence and war reaching global headlines. And, well, look where we are today, folks. And it's all about this stuff here. It's all manipulated, it's all engineered, it's all planned in such a way so that the folks who run all this stuff, the people who are at the very, very tippity top of the pinnacle of power, money, control, and that is most powerfully expressed through Pluto and Capricorn, especially when you get into the 0 degrees, like around 2008, and when you get in the high 20s and around the 15 degree mark, and then especially around the 29 degree mark, it's going to go absolutely berserk. Just telling you. Just giving you a heads up, okay? Another thing I've noticed is that in the last week or two, I've noticed that there's a lot of channels all of a sudden talking about this thing, the Pluto return. And not only that, the Pluto return for the United States. You have to understand the Pluto for the return for the United States is specifically for the United States. It's not for the whole of planet Earth. Just need to mention that, and I don't think anyone else has discerned that. It needs to be understood. Of course, with the Pluto return for the United States, it does affect the whole of the planet Earth, because of the whole of planet Earth is interconnected to the United States through the almighty U.S. dollar. And the U.S. dollar, as you know, has been weaponized for years, and increasingly weaponized to the point where enough people have said enough is enough, and there's revolution and kickback all across planet Earth. I did a couple of charts recently. Where are we? Let me go over here. I did a couple of charts. Give me a second. I did a couple of charts recently, just the other day, accentuating this particularly troublesome T-square. This is the T-square. Well, it looks like a triangle, but they call it a T-square because of this particular sacred geometry. It's like a letter T. I'll tip it this way so you can understand it better. It's like a letter T. Okay? There's the pivotal point in the middle. The planets over here, Mars and Uranus conjoined at 18 degrees. And there's the top of the T with the opposition between Mercury and Saturn. Okay? Saturn in Aquarius, testing the people. People are being tested. and let's say our ability to do commerce and trade and communicate without from our sovereign selves is being tested, and it's tremendous. This is like to what I would call like a superpowered T-square. I see it splashing out all across the world, because it very much involves the communications of the world about we the people. How are we the people going to tolerate what is being perpetrated across humanity? The chart that I made the other day, I really emphasized the wall of retrogrades that's here right now. Let me show you again. It just started. We have Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto all together, retrograding big time. So whatever can go wrong will go wrong regarding those particular astrological aspects. Everything that's ruled by Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto. And of course it's an SHIT storm unfolding, very big and very slow, and it's affecting the whole of planet Earth. Everything. Environment, nature, floods, fires, hurricanes, volcanoes, freezing this, freezing that, boiling it, this, boiling that, flood. It's just intense, crazy heat. There's going to be issues to do with cold soon. Let's see, give me a second here. I want to catch up a little bit. So that's the Leo Aquarius opposition, hard squared with the Mars-Uranus conjunction here. Okay, very, very tough. It's all about global finances, global recession turning into global depression. Of course, I'm probably not allowed to use those words, so who knows? Who knows what will happen with this video. And before that, give me a second. I'm trying to differentiate here. Where was it? Oh, sorry. This is the one here. And just before that, we had the other big, very, very disturbing T-square, which was this one. I don't know if you recall this. I mentioned this during the week. This was the Cancer-Capricorn opposition, huge opposition, hard squaring, the very troublesome conjunction with Mars and Jupiter in Aries, where the subject of World War III was now starting to erupt all over planet Earth in global media, alternative media, mainstream media, wherever it is. It's just there. It's not me. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a wacko. It's very, very obvious. And of course it's amplified now, and it's going to amplify even further. It's going to amplify a lot when Mars gets over here into Cancer, aligning with the Cancerian nature of the United States. The United States is going to be under tremendous pressure of on the subject of WAR, number 3. So during wartime conditions, there's typically a lot of stuff that collapses, falls apart, and that's sort of, you could say, that's indicated by these 4 retrogrades, and then everything is destroyed, pulverized, and then rebuilt. Classic sort of patterns. Anyway, let's put this one aside. Let's keep this one here. Sorry, muddled with my boards. Let's keep this one here. I'll put this one here. So tonight we do have a fleeting moment of comfort and harmony, because the sweet moon in Virgo is in a big fat harmony with Mars and Uranus over here in Taurus. To me it feels like it's very comforting, and such, like the moon is saying, well, what are we supposed to do? Yes, we have major problems here. What kind of practical solutions can we implement here to clean things up, to tidy things up? Now, of course, this transit will be very quick and slow, and it'll be forgotten about soon enough, because it's the sort of problems that we're talking about here are massive, monumental, been building up for decades, and now they are unfolding in real time. And sweet Moon in Virgo is like, well, we got to do something. And then all of a sudden, like there's like the energy moves on, and so the concept of what are we going to do, how are we going to do it is more to do with, well, nobody knows what to do, because all of this war type dynamic is being perpetrated by design. What can you do, huh? Yep. Yeah, the sun is sweetly in harmony with Jupiter here too, so that's quite comforting. Okay, I just want to check in. I don't see anybody in the chat. I guess there's nobody here. Maybe the letters didn't go out in time. I don't see anybody. So I'm talking to an empty room. Is anybody there? If so, please feel free to type in, chat in, introduce yourselves. I know I got a reading booked from Mr. Gregory Ross, so I will add that over here. And we'll get to the readings in a little bit. Maybe this is going to be a very short show tonight. I have no idea. This is your magic note, Mr. Ross. This will assure you that you get your reading. Your ticket is booked. And there you go. So, let me expand on that subject of readings for just a moment. Ikat! Hey, Ikat, hi. Welcome. Good evening. So, Ikat, I'm just going to do a little bit of a, routine check-in with folks. So, for new visitors, Ikat, you've been here before, you know the routine. But for new visitors, I can usually handle about 4 readings on a show like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. After that, I'm sort of wiped out. I used to be able to do a lot more, but for various reasons, my capacity has diminished. Let's put it that way. Now, there's a way that you can book readings directly. Like if you're a regular PayPal user type person and very active, and you're used to just sending PayPals to somebody's email, you can do that directly over here. Here is my email. Let me I'll write it bigger so people can see it for anyone who is actually watching. A little ILITTLE book about at yahoo.com. So that's where you can reach me. A little book about at yahoo.com. Okay, so you can send donations that way. People send $5, $10, $20, $30 at a time, depending how rich they are or how generous they feel or whatever it might be. The more the merrier, of course. I'm trying to save up for gasoline money. So, yeah, that's one way you can book a reading now live, and it will show up here. Please don't use the super chat because YouTube is now sort of like restricting the flow of finances on my channel a little bit, and it's basically impossible for me to collect the super chat unless I do 5 shows a week, 10 shows a week, and I guess I do things that are more compliant with what YouTube wants me to do, things like that. Here's another way you can donate. You can go to terralumination.com on another tab on your computer or another tab on your phone. Go to the donate page, go to the donate button, click the donate button. A payment processor comes up and you do it swipe your card just like you do with online shopping. Very straightforward, and then it shows up over here. Okay? All right, so let me go back over here for a moment. So this is the astrological weather. From my personal perspective, I've been anticipating, I kind of, I do these things, I treat them as like weather, I just treat it as weather. It's astrological weather based on sacred geometry. The planets are always zooming around. I factor in what I think of as just gravity. And how does that affect planet Earth? How does that affect humanity? I'm talking about everything, literally. Glaciers, oceans, rivers, forests, fires, volcanoes, farming, cows, pigs, chickens, all the animals on Earth, turkeys, fish, humans, everything. It's all affected by this, all of it, one way or another. So when I saw these things starting to creep up, by the way, I'm going to give you some advance notice right now. And I've been pointing out a lot of scary items for late 2022. Well, the way I've looked at it, I can't do it right now. I don't have really fancy computers and software, but I can tell you already in advance, just by doing homework over here, that 2023 is going to be something where you want to fasten your seat belt and you really, really want to be prepared, because things have a potential to be very ugly. Now, for some people, it's going to be incredible. It just depends. All right, so yeah, with this particular conjunction here, Mars conjoined Uranus, it's a powerful, powerful conjunction, especially when you set it up here with this big fat T-square. It's super hyper volatile. The most obvious example I can think of in the world headlines today, right now, and it's spread all over the world extremely quickly, is Nancy, the speaker over here in America, is flying around in Southeast Asia and the Asian Pacific right now. And there's a country called Taiwan. And as you know, Taiwan has become a, let's say, a focal point for the subject of WAR. And these folks over here have become extremely hyper belligerent, extremely threatening. Like, if Nancy decides to land over here, okay, you see this little blob here? That's Taiwan. If she sets foot in there, as far as these folks are concerned, they've said it on mainstream news, mainstream media. If Nancy sets foot in here, that is an act of war, and they're going to attack her and shoot her down. There you go. That would be the gateway to World War III. Yay! Actually, I'm not very excited about it all. So that's the most obvious example, but in fact, it's kind of all over the world, different variations. A lot of extreme hyper volatility in the global financial markets, thanks to Jerome and Janet and Joe and a bunch of other people who belong to this crowd up here. You could say this is the elites. Okay. There's a beautiful energy, of course, associated with Pluto. It isn't always dark and creepy and about demolition. It's very beautiful because it's also about rebirth. But right now we're dealing with a massive global demolition of human society in order to rebuild a new one. And it's very chaotic. They're trying to do it in an organized manner. When I say they, I mean these folks here. But there are some folks, like people like myself, who are a little bit concerned. I'm not very trusting or very comfortable with their plans. Some people are extremely uncomfortable with their plans. I'm not going to dwell on this stuff much. It makes people very anxious and scared and nervous. So I'm just going to kind of move it on. It's a beautiful chart in its own way. And these are very genuine, serious alarm bells here. The real alarm, I believe, goes off tomorrow. We've been building it up for days now, and the alarm bell is going to keep ringing for days and days and days. So it's going to have implications, and then it's going to fade a bit, and then it's going to really ring loud again over in a few months, especially over here in when Mars reaches Cancer over here. So just hold on to your hat, fasten your seat belts, and be prepared. All right, so I'm just going to verify a couple of things. Hang in, folks. I'm going to get some cards out, and then we can start doing a reading, okay? Let's have a look. Oh, a couple more people showed up. Greetings. Please introduce yourselves. Please settle in, get comfortable. Remember, stay hydrated. Maybe people are only just now getting notifications. Gosh, if you've missed the beginning of the show, you can see it later if you want to on an action replay. Don't worry about it. I just got to double check something here and see what's going on. Okay, yeah, I'm just checking a few things behind the scenes here. Yeah, we've got a booking from Mr. Ross. Thank you very much, Mr. Ross. And we're going to go over here. I'm doing housekeeping to keep the show running, get the show running properly, get everything lined up. Now, yeah, it's showing a few more people turned up. Thank you very much. Let me introduce myself in case you haven't been here before. This is Tarot Lumination. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for being here. I tend to focus on astrology and tarot. I like to combine them. I like to offer my services as little mini tarot readings live by donation on Sunday nights. And I just explained how you can book a reading tonight, live, right now. And you can talk about it in the chat with whoever else is here at the same time if you want to. Sometimes we get people who arrive on the show who are, very advanced type energy healers themselves. Some of you might be regulars. Some of you might recognize the names when you come in and hang out and join in, let's say. But yeah, for now, I've been doing it for about 5 years now. It's been a very bumpy ride up and down, but we do have one thing that's been holding stable, which is the little Sunday night lives. And so we're hanging on to that for the time being and see where things go from there. So, yes, we are in turbulent times. We just had the Leo new moon, and we're going to be heading towards let me just pull up my calendar here. The full moon is going to be on August 11th, yeah. So between the end of last week and 2 weeks from then, we're going to be going through this Leo phase. We are in Leo season right now, and sometimes that is quite troubling for the fixed signs. For the Leos, it can be very invigorating. For the Aquarians, it can be quite challenging. For the Scorpios and the Taurians, it can be quite challenging. And so when you go back to the charts and you look at that big fat T-square, you could say that it's very challenging for all of the fixed signs. That's Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius. Because even though, theoretically, Leo is empowered by having all that beautiful sun energy there, the way the sacred geometry is all lined up, it just happens that it's a very stressful alignment. Super, super stressful. So, You got to figure it out. It's personal. Whoever you are, wherever you are, let me go back a minute over here. See, I always use a very, very simplified Earth-based chart, and I always put Aries on the horizon, and I keep a whole sign chart. Each sign is 30 degrees, and all I do is place the planets appropriately where they are in orbit in our solar system. And then in my body, mind, heart, and soul, I interpret the energy the way I feel it and try to transcribe it into something that's understandable or useful or makes sense to people who are watching. So I'm really just an instrument with the astrology, same as being an instrument with the tarot. And it's pretty obvious to me that this is a hyper-stressful situation. Now, of course, there are a lot of people who are completely oblivious to any of this. It just, like, life goes on, and that's how it is. And they are not aware of things until it actually hits them right in their face, or it's in their personal lives or their bank account or something like that. But the way I'm built and so on, I tend to be sensitive to all of what's going on here. And so I decided, well, why not become an astrologer? Hey! Yeah, I came in a little bit early. Hi. Hello, Necessary. Thank you so much. Yay! All right. Thank you. Oh, my PayPal. Okay, hey, but that's a booking. I would call that a booking. Thank you so much, Necessary. Some of you know Necessary Truth is a psychic medium. Maybe my notifications didn't go out very quickly. I sent the email out a while ago to try and remind people. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Yes, I already started the show at 5 p.m. Last week it was 5:30 because I was really delayed. But I went back to my 5 p.m. for tonight. And I've already done kind of an intro and a preliminary chat about the astrodoodles and things. I'm keeping it very loose and light because I don't want to burden people or scare myself with some of the stuff that I see. And so I'm just trying to give people an overview. But the main theme is please put on your seatbelts and stay very, very alert. Do some prepping. If you're not used to prepping, please do some prepping because there's tremendous pressure on the financial world for the whole of planet Earth. Some of it is fabricated by the elites, and some of it is just natural causes as a consequence of their behavior being out of alignment with the natural behavior, the natural laws of the universe. So you end up in a real pickle. A really serious pickle, because money is essentially a measure of value, but money has been corrupted and turned into a tool for control and imprisonment and manipulation and let's say, what's the word, social engineering and the destruction of privacy and rights, the destruction of privacy, the removal of any ability to protect and defend your life, your friends, your family, your wealth, your money, your finances, all of that. And that's not nice. There was a time where the concept of money was much simpler. It's gone in waves historically for many thousands of years. Human beings found ways to interact with each other so that they could have what you would call a currency. So person A could exchange with person B in a way that had measurable equal value. Like, oh, I want 10 bales of hay. Well, I've got 10 bales of hay, but I could sure do with some eggs. Oh, I've got a whole pile of eggs. Let's count and figure out how many eggs for how many bales of hay. Okay, that sounds good. Deal done. Clickety click. Okay? That's a deal. There's no actual transaction of money, but it is a deal. It is a transaction that's ruled by Mercury, basic day-to-day transactions. And eventually, there were so many transactions that started to happen between human beings that they factored in that, we need like a common denominator, like a token that's very, very interchangeable and fungible all across Earth, so that somewhere way over here can trade with someone way over here and use just the one token, and the token has value here and it has the value here. And they started calling that money, especially when they used gold coins and silver coins. And it works extremely well, except when the people at the top find that it's very inconvenient, because when the Earth and humanity used gold and silver as a form of money, it was called hard money. It was called God's money. Silver was called the people's money. And it was a very accurate and wholesome way to measure value. And eventually the folks at the top here decided, this is not cool. We can't have a system that's so pure. We need to pervert this system so we can get all the money for ourselves and give everybody else something that looks or appears to be money. So we're going to create these things called notes, dollar bills, and so on. And where there's the only value it has is what they tell you it has. It doesn't have any. It's it is the most amazing magic trick ever conducted on Earth, from one bunch of human beings onto another onto a bunch of other human beings. At the very tippity top of the pile of the elites here, there's 10,000 people maybe. It's like 0.000001 or something of the global population, and they own and run everything. And everyone else is we the people, and they're getting fleeced by the system. Of course, the higher up that you go and the closer you are to the tippity top of the pyramid of power of the elites, the more and more you get to enjoy the benefits of the magic trick and the Ponzi scheme at the very, very top. And the further down you are, in other words, places like what's happening right now in Pakistan and Sri Lanka, Venezuela, Argentina, parts of Africa, parts of the Middle East, and parts of Central Europe, it becomes really, really ugly. And the whole game becomes exposed. People start to realize, wait a minute, it's a whole big freaking scam. There you go. They got outed. The retrogrades are just doing their job. If you don't abide by love, if you are not loving, then, it all comes back on you. If you decide to commit extreme fraud through extremely hyper-effective deception, then it will come back on you, and that's what's coming back. The folks at the top are meeting resistance. There are other people on Earth who are saying enough is enough, and there are people, holding revolutions and protests all over Earth now because they realize they're getting screwed, and they're sick of it. They've lost their whole lives, their savings, their houses, their money. They've lost everything. Millions and millions and millions and millions of people totally screwed. Yay, God. What a scam, huh? So enough of the rant. I'm not supposed to rant about this stuff because it makes me go berserk. Oh, over here. Yeah. So there you go. It's all a big game. It's made to impress. Made to make you believe that what they tell you is real. All right, so let me see. It's a very tiny audience tonight. Hello, Ekat. Hello, Necessary. I don't see Gregory here. I'm going to probably wait until about 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock. Maybe we should just... Necessary here. Maybe if you're early Necessary, maybe we could start with a reading with you. I'm not really sure. Let me think how to do this. okay. Yep. Necessary Truth just said, hi, hello. Thanks for being here, Necessary. It seems to be very, very quiet. Everyone's off doing something. They're probably over at fast food places having the last chance, the last gasp of having what feels like going out for dinner. Yeah, I got it. I'll let me just double check, okay? Stay there. Let me just double check. I'm pretty sure we'll be okay. Let's see. Sometimes it takes a while to print. Yeah, we're here. We're good. You're good, Necessary. No problem. Clickety click. I'm doing all this behind the scenes, okay? Checking up. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Yeah. Sorry about that. Sometimes we get people from all over the world. You know, Libya, New Zealand. We've had people, a lot of it, it's difficult to do Eastern Europe because most of the time I do live shows now. And to get Europe and Eastern Europe and Africa, I have to do a show at around 10 a.m. 10 or 11 or 12 noon. And a lot of times I'm not available to do that. So I'm trying to figure out ways I can recalibrate my life so I can offer more shows and more readings like during the week. Mr. Ross, yay, you made it. Yo. Yeah, you're all good. You're all good, Necessary. No worries. You're all good. Yep. So it's funny, like when I'm kind of conducting my life, I deliberately keep myself open. You know, like an antenna. I like to keep myself open so I can receive the maximum amount of what I would call psychic, spiritual, astrological, tarot information possible, because I like doing that. I feel like I provide a useful service and I like doing it. But just like anything, it's like, you know, you're driving a race car around and around. You can't just keep going forever. Eventually you have to pull in and change the tires, fill up the oil, check the gasoline, fill up the gasoline, check the oil, excuse me, and so on, just keep going. And with this particular massive T-square, I kind of reached a threshold of my ability to cope. And I knew this would happen. And so on Saturday in America, I was taking things quite gently. Even though there's all sorts of stressful things going on in the world, I was trying to conduct things very gently and less stressfully. And then when I went to bed last night, I kind of did little prayers like, please give me some good quality sleep. Good quality sleep. So that I can wake up refreshed. And luckily my prayers were answered. I did get some pretty decent sleep because I'm very, very light sleeper by nature. Anything, the slightest thing can disrupt me. And so when I go into a deeper, heavier sleep, it's blissful. And then I wake up. And then so one of the downsides is that I wake up rested. And when I wake up rested like that, I want to stay like that. So I'm kind of like in this very, very dopey condition. My receptors are very, very sleepy and quiet. All I really want to do is sit inside a cafe, sip coffee, have a little cup. That's my cup for the day. And daydream. And that's it. I don't want to go scrolling around all over the world for news and YouTubes and chatting with friends and family on, WhatsApp and emails and studying the charts and the planets and trying to figure reports out for the next week. I don't want to do any of it. I just want to be a blob. And so that's what happened today. And so today, right now, we're still in the early phases of this Leo new moon. And you know how they tell you, oh, it's a new moon, you have to set your intentions and plan out so you can ride the wave to the culmination of the full moon and take full advantage of the energy field. Well, what I was asking for was a period of peace and beginnings of new chapters of healing and creative expression and fun and happiness and entertainment in a nice mellow way that I could handle, because there's a big difference between being happy and content compared to excited and overstimulated. They're very, very different things, you know. Oh, that's sweet. Look at that. There's a bedtime prayer from Necessary. Guardian angel sent to me by God, please sit by my bed and make sure my soul stays in me. Oh, that is sweet. I should write that. I'm going to have to go back after and write that down. Yeah. And Gregory says that is sweet. Necessary. And you have to ask. You have to ask. Yes, it's very, very true. It's so weird how it all works, isn't it? Ask and ye shall receive. Like if you don't ask, it's like stop energy just sits there, stagnates. I go through phases. Sometimes I'm very, very active with my invisible friends, my guardians, my, let's say, healers, my angels and all of that. Sometimes it's very, very vivid, very, very cinematic. Since a day or two before the Leo new moon, and for every day since then until this morning, I've just had a lot of very vivid Technicolor dreams. And it's because I was kind of asking for a purging. I just wanted to get through this, get started, recalibrate and rekindle. And a lot of stuff for me comes out through dreams. And it's like the stories that come out are parables or like experiences that have to come out, like the revealing for the healing. And then I end up rested. Hello, Ivona. Good evening. So, just advance notice, I'm still in a very, very, very soft condition at the moment. I'm perfectly open and receptive, so I have no idea what's going to come in. But my personal energy changes a lot every day, just like it does for all of you. I don't have a lot of earth signs in my chart, so I'm highly susceptible to the shifting energies of the planets. I have some friends that are very earthy, like a lot of Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus, and they seem to have a very, very solid, kind of stable aspect to their nature. A couple of them I lean on very strongly, and they help me to get through. And I have a lot of water, and I help them to balance out with all that stuff, you know. Oh, look at that. Look at Gregory's notes there. I have asking issues. And that's because I really don't believe that anything happens because of desire or manifesting. I believe the guides and planets override and request our desire, our mantra to meditate. Override and request or desire or mantra to meditate. Oh, interesting. Okay. Wow. I remember when I used to go to these really advanced yoga camps. I was exposed to a lot of things that I wasn't exposed to earlier in a way that was like laid out in a comprehensive way that was understandable. What I realized, I was already operating at that level, but I didn't have any, let's say, reference points. I didn't have any kind of understanding like what's actually going on. And so when I was doing all this yoga, it was very intensive for years. I kind of got dropped in the deep end. And a lot of it was very much about healing rather than stretching and bending and whatever. The stretching, bending stuff is really, really awesome, but the stuff I had to do was, I would say, way out on the fringes. And most of the other yoga practitioners working with me were, let's say, stretched to the max. And it affects you emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and it does transform. And I received enormous amounts of energy healing, like remote energy healing and very close hands-on energy healing. And I have to say, I didn't ask for it. It was put upon me. And I believe that my guides and my invisible friends and my real-time friends here back in Los Angeles, they dragged me into this healing paradigm. And I'm very, very grateful because it really changed my life. Yeah. Okay. And I learned about, you have to ask. Ask and you shall receive. Otherwise, you're kind of like cruising around. Now, the thing is, I receive anyway, but it changes things. When you deliberately, like, open up a portal and ask to connect with your guides and spirits, and especially with, I guess you could say, the planets, the energies of the planets, and you ask deliberately to be connected. It's like literally plugging in. Then it tends to amplify your potential for what's possibly good and what's not so good. Like you realize, like, oh my God, I need to stop this, this, and this, and oh my gosh, I need to work on that, and so I can like improve my life. And what I learned after a while is that in my particular case, things became so finely tuned that I could conduct a life without direct correspondence all day, every day. And I still conduct life without daily correspondence to my invisible friends and the great beyond. But when I do make deliberate connections, it tends to amplify the sweet stuff and the good stuff. And I get very vivid visual connections with my invisible friends, especially a small cluster that are very, very close to me around the time, including my mother and my father and a few pets, and also I don't know who they all are, but a massive battalion of guardian angels. They are literally fearsome. You wouldn't want to cross them, put it that way. And also these 7 interns. I've tried to write this book and I've just completely stagnated. And it's kind of a mess. The cover of the book is beautiful, but I mentioned the interns because what I learned is that I was being used as kind of a lab experiment for interns, like intern angels, who could eventually, let's say, advance and be promoted to full-on operational guardian angels. Not guardian angels, but healing angels types. And their mandate was to stay very, 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 very close to me. And they were basically all female. I could detect the gender. I feel that there are genders on the other side. Let's not get into that. And these particular 7 interns were very closely monitored and guided and instructed on the process of energy healing and how it works from the other side to a human being on this side. And so I got to experience all of it, like in vivid technicolor, like I could see these characters. And I was very lucky because on some of the healers and teachers, I was able to see their auras and stuff. Some of them were very, very powerful. And yeah, I could see the blue lights in particular around several. Quite impressive stuff, okay? Manifestation, yeah. Necessary truth. Okay. Oh, so necessary. You're talking about the little interns, because someone's got to learn somehow, and it makes perfect sense. It's called How to Become a Spirit Guide. There's probably a book on it. Worst job in the world. Yep. Gregory's had so many very important things visualized, prayed and asked for, and felt already happened, and then got slapped right in the face about it, that I'll never expect any type of manifestation to work. Yeah, that must be really, really frustrating. I would say that I've had a lot of manifestation manifest, but I've also had a lot of stuff manifest that backfires really badly. So I can understand you, Mr. Ross, to a certain degree. It's just slightly different language. But my God, I've had some horrific things that you said slapped right in the face. Absolutely. To me, they were like explosive. Complete demolition of lifestyle, money, relationships. There you go. What's that other expression? Be careful what you wish for because it may come true. It's the worst job in the world, being a spirit guide. Oh gosh. Imagine being a spirit guide and you're assigned to someone who ignores you. That's a job on the other side. Whoa. I guess it's true, yeah. Path Traveler, I always manifest for the best possible outcome for all. That's probably a really good way to do it. The best way to do it, instead of like, what about for me? Upstairs there is, on the other side. There is an entire classes on this. It's like the PhD levels. Training for spirit guides. No joke. Well, I believe you, Necessary. I totally believe you. Actually, I can remember reading about some of these things long ago, but I've forgotten most of it. There are... Yeah, that's true. I would say that's very, very true. Yowza. All right, stay hydrated, everybody. Hold on, I need some water. You know what? I should probably get the cards out and start shuffling here. Let's have a look. Folks. Oh, a couple more people showed up. Kelly C. Webb. Hi there. Hello, Kelly C. Webb. Good evening, Kelly C. Webb. I have a feeling you're a newbie. Welcome. Hey, Kelly. So if you're hanging around, you just want to have fun, watch, observe, sip a beverage, fine. Can I donate using the super chat? No! Don't use the super chat. I'm sorry. I love the super chat, but the money will never come here. I need that money. I need gasoline money, okay? So don't do the super chat. It'll never get here. The way the algorithm works on my channel now, sorry. PayPal is best. So let me do a little run through again for everybody, whoever's watching. So Kelly, very glad to have you here. You're very welcome to donate. The best way, pretty much the only way to do it anymore here on this channel, I'll walk through. There's a couple of options. Number one, Kelly. So Kelly, if you have If you have PayPal, it's quick and easy. Sorry, you can't. Well, Kelly, I'm going to show you a shortcut, a workaround where you don't have to have PayPal. Okay? Don't worry, Kelly. I'm very eager to receive your donation. Let's put it that way. So let's forget this one for the moment. I do not have Cash App. No. Most of those apps I've got rid of them. The Venmos and things, sorry. So Kelly, I'm just going to focus on Kelly right now. What you can do, Kelly, is this. Chimianegi. I think you've been here before. Okay, so Kelly, here's what you can do. Now, if you've got a separate device, or if you're on a computer, you can use a second tab, and what you do is this. You can go to terralumination.com, just all one word, terralumination.com. I'm showing you on the screen here. And you click the donate button, orange button, and that opens up a payment processor. Now, it's actually my PayPal payment processor that's built into my website. But when you scroll through the processor, it shows you that there's an option where you can choose to bypass PayPal and just simply use a card and swipe it just like you would do online shopping. It's very simple, okay? Literally, it's just as simple as you don't have to have an account. You don't have to log in or anything. You can just go to my terralumination.com, another device or another tab on your computer. Go to the donate page, click the donate button. It'll pull up the payment processor. You can pull out one of your cards and put your donation in, swipe it through, see what happens, okay? Oh yeah, Path Traveler's pointing out there's also a link under the video to the website. Okay, thank you so much. Hello, Tamia. So Kelly, if that makes any sense, we'll keep an eye out, okay? No, not a set price. People put in 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, that kind of stuff. Depends how rich you're feeling. Alright, let's get back over here. I just want to check in. I want to say thank you. Thank you, Kelly, for asking. For some people, I mean, you have to be have a lot of nerve to do a live reading here, because other people are listening in and watching. Sometimes it gets very personal. You know, I use my very basic but effective situational spread, and the whole idea is a diagnostic. It's a diagnostic tool, okay? So Kelly, give it a try. It'll show up here if it works, so don't worry. It takes time to go through. It takes a bit of time to process these things, but yeah. So run it through the system. Run it through the system. It's an incredible system that we can do any of this at all. Frankly, we should be incredibly grateful. I am very, very grateful. So because this little Sunday night show is incredibly important in me for my life. That's why I keep it going. Now, Tamia, if you're interested in a reading too, it's the same story. Okay? And I can only handle about 4 readings on a night anymore these days. That's my capacity. I have a very limited capacity these days. It takes a lot of energy to do the readings, and I have to consider other things going on in my life, and let's say conserve energy. Ivona, yes, I can fit Tamia, but after that it's full. Okay? So yes, after Tamia. So yeah, we can do a reading for Tamia, okay? So yeah, just go for it. Ivona, if you want to help your friend go through the the PayPal thingy, then please go ahead, because I can't do it directly from here, obviously. In the meantime, let's get over here and start shuffling. Alrighty. There you go. Alright, so here we go. This is the Astro Doodle for today. We had a chat about this at the start of the show. I think a lot of people missed it. I started at 5 p.m. Last week it was 5:30. I guess everybody thought I was going to changed to 5:30, but I went back to 5. Anyway, you can see that. I think it's kind of important. You don't have to see it for your reading, but I might be referencing this for the reading. Depends what comes up in the readings. So, right now we've got booked Gregory Ross and Necessary Truth, and we might be getting a reading for Tamea Nagy and also Kelly Webb. Okay? Right over here. And so you will get your magic post-it notes. We just wait for confirmation. That's all. Now I need to get some water here. Cheers, everybody. Ivona is sending a PayPal. Oh, great. Okay. Well, that could work. And then, maybe Tamea can treat Ivona next time. It's funny. It happens every now and again where people treat each other to readings. They bring in friends and family and so on. It's really sweet. It's a very, very kind gesture. All right. So this is today's Astrodoodle. I'm not going to go over all of this again. It was all done at the beginning of the show. So I'm going to put that aside. And we're going to start to prep up for the readings themselves. Alright, let's do this. I'm going to put a little TL Kelly sent. Oh, she did? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Alright, wow, that's awesome. Well, let me do a shuffle here. I'm going to put on I'm going to shuffle up some stuff. Hold on, Kelly. Don't try to send again. Let's wait to see if it comes through. Let me just double check my PayPal. Stay there. Just hang in, everybody. I'm going to do some homework here behind the scenes. Okay, and let's have a look. Okay. Yeah, everything's running slow tonight. So don't worry about it. I've got yours, Necessary. I've got yours, Gregory. No problem. And let's just trust and wait. Be patient. And let's see if Kelly's got through. Please. Tamea is on London time. Oh, whoa. Okie dokie. All right, thank you. Thank you. I didn't see that. That's, oh my God, it's the... Let me see. So it's 6:30. It's like 2:30 a.m. So, guys, you're going to have to put up with a reshuffle. Tamea is going to go to the very top here. Then Tamea can get to bed. She's on partner. Kelly's on not on PayPal. She's on their website. Okay, that's fine. You don't really have to send any notes. Give me a second. I need to catch up here with you. Tamea Nagy. There we go. So Tamea, when I'm not a fortune teller. Some people think you can do fortune telling. Some people try to. What I prefer to do is be available as an interpreter. Thanks, Gregory. Please, please, please allow for Tamea. It's 2:20, yeah. Yeah, Kelly, go to the website. Go to terralumination.com on some kind of device or another tab. Now let me shuffle up. And then over here we might be getting Kelly. Okay, we'll hold that. No more. We're going to keep this space here for Kelly, see if she makes it. And let's have a look, see what's going on. Let's shuffle it all up. I'm going to I just had a little bit of water. I just need a tiny... I need a sip. I need a little bit of... I just need to get through here. Just a few moments to shuffle up, okay? So hang in. There we go. So Tamea, how about this? You've probably got all sorts of issues on your mind, and if it's the first time, then people typically they'll have a long story about this and that, like what about my lover, what about my home, my career, my health, my family, my pets, whatever it is, okay? If you have a specific issue in mind, here's how I would phrase it. Let's pretend I'm you right now. Hello, TL. What kind of messages do you have for me tonight regarding the subject of ... And just put one word in there, like family, health, or whatever. You know, career, global economy, my job, whatever it is. Otherwise, you can go blind and I'll do a complete blind reading. And that can be very fun and exciting. You don't have to do anything. I don't have to know anything about you. Don't worry about that. So bless this deck. Bless every single card. Bless the staging and the lighting, the cameras, all the microphones. Okay, and the wires, the platform of YouTube. All the different layers of software that I'm running simultaneously to get this done at all. Bless the PayPal system, the browsers, all of it. You know, that we can do any of this at all. It's miraculous. Okay. Okay. Well, love reading them. This is the name of the guy. Love Tamea. Honor. Okay, fine. Tamea and Honor. How do you say it? Honor? Honor? Anyway, I can't do much with the phonetics, but I'll try. We could call it a love reading if you like, okay? Sounds, okay, let's do that. Or like a mini relationship. Now, by the way, Tamea, I'm just kind of dropping a hint here. If you really want to get into that, when it comes to relationships, okay, you just want to ask about Honor. And you are female and Honor is male. Is that correct? So it would help to have a little bit of clarity on that, a little bit of validation. But what I was going to suggest to Maya, you're kind of jumping in the deep end here. So I think you're very brave and it's very exciting, and we're going to find out what we can right now. But I also do personal readings, and again, you can go to tarotlumination.com, okay? So let me just reiterate that thingamy over here. So Tamaya, when someone books a private reading, I go much deeper and I use different spreads. Okay, I use highly specialized spreads that are all custom built by myself that work for me in particular. They're not patented or anything like that, but they are very effective what they do. And one of the most common popular things, of course, is love and relationship. So if you want to get deeper into it, let's say you have an experience here that makes you feel that you can trust the Tarot Illumination experience, and you want to still go deeper, then you can do that. And you would go back again to tarotlumination.com, go to the readings page, book that, do a payment through the PayPal thingamy. Again, you don't have to have PayPal, but it goes through the processor, and so on, okay? So I'm just giving you a heads up. So I hope that gets you clued in. So right now, we've kind of shuffled up, so I'm going to start diving in. So all the best. Let's do this, okay? All right, Tamaya, you're on London time. Thanks, Tamaya. All right, so let's just get this absolutely up to the moment. I don't do reversals. I'm not doing any oracles. I just use my situational spread. I call it a situational spread because it's a very neutral word. The whole idea is diagnostics. I use this as a diagnostic tool, just like when you go into an auto tech shop. Something feels wrong with your car. You don't know what it is, so you go to the shop and they say, well, hey lady, let's plug it into the diagnostics. And they bring out this $4,000 black box. They plug it in under the dashboard, and it scrolls through the computer that operates the car, and then they can identify any trouble spots. Okay, that's really all this is, because on this channel it's really all about healing on the spiritual level, which manifests later on into the physiological level. So you've got to reveal it to heal it. There are certain things that cannot be healed on the physical level unless you deal with them first at the level of the soul. So here we go. Cards are well shuffled in advance, and now we're going to go live for you. Thank you, Tamia. Thank you for staying up late, or actually getting up really early. And after this, you can ponder it all and then have a blissful sleep. I used to live in England for many years. I still have some friends over there. I haven't been back in a long time. I know you've been having some pretty serious heat waves and some weird floods and things like that. All right, here we go. So here is the situation. Here are the challenges, and here's how we're going to handle it. Now, this is about Tamea and this fellow Honor. Okay? She's curious about, is this a love situation or something else? Okay? All right, here we go. Let's have a look. So the Page of Cups. Okay, well, this is very sweet. To me, this indicates that there is a degree of innocence here, and you need to be aware of that beforehand. And there are a lot of, let's say, how can I put that? Hold on, I want to get the chart. I'm really feeling the need to go to my chart here. Okay, so Honor, this is a very extreme chart, and you're here on a very kind of extreme evening with the planets. That's not a good thing or a bad thing. It just is what it is. And if you've never done astrology before, you can see I've marked out this really serious hot spot here. There's a couple here, here, here and here, but this is the big one. And this point is about 18 degrees Taurus. Now, everyone has a point in their chart at 18 degrees Taurus, and that could be anywhere, the way personal charts are done. Okay? So there you go. And this is what might be triggering you right now. Like there are questions that need to be answered. There are subject matters that need to be understood. And so it makes me feel like you're coming from a relatively high degree of innocence and a high degree of curiosity. And so that's a very sweet combination. But it also has the potential to make you or leave you relatively vulnerable to the unknown. Now remember, this is probably the most active energy in the planets at this moment in time, besides obviously the sun. And when you have Mars conjoined Uranus, this creates tremendous activity, potential instability, volatility. Okay? It's very much also about awakening, revitalizing and awakening. Okay? Queen of Water just arrived. Yay. Okay. So this, with the Uranus energy here, it's very, very strong. And the Uranus energy can be extremely hyper-inquisitive. Okay? Almost like the mad scientist. I'm not saying you're a mad scientist, but when it comes to matters of the heart, all I'm suggesting is that you're dealing with an energy field that suggests that there is a high degree of innocence and curiosity combined. And that's actually very sweet, because it can indicate that you're not coming from a position of huge amounts of damage. A lot of people get very damaged in love and relationships. And sometimes, like what you're doing, it's a very good idea to get a reading in advance, to get some perspective about a relationship in advance. So let's have a look. What's the situation itself? Justice. Okay, so the way I see that with this Justice card, this relationship is happening exactly at the right time, at the right place, for the right reasons, with the right person. It doesn't mean it's going to be love. It's more about, I would say, bringing awareness to you that you need to know about the subject of love. Now, people have so many interpretations of the concept of love. Is it about having a powerful physiological, emotional, sexual, thrust, crush kind of thing, makes you want to get pregnant and get married and have babies? There's that. Sometimes it's like a really strong friendship and you feel very closely aligned with someone. Sometimes you can have a love dynamic that's triggered by a lot of, let's say, apparent conflict or extremely magnetic forces, but there's also a lot of challenges. And some people call that love. There's also the kind of love which is very, very, let's say, refined, where it's all about like literally being there for someone at very high frequencies and at the same way that someone is there for you. It's not, in other words, it's not really about you at all. It's about the relationship, be loving and be loved. Let's just say that you are, I'm not saying this is you, let's just say, let's say you are relatively, let's say, innocent or vulnerable. That leaves you vulnerable. And obviously you would want to know. And you don't want to be damaged. You don't want to end up as damaged goods. Okay? Nobody does. Okay? So let's just say, the way I feel it right now with the Justice card, it's a learning relationship. It's about knowledge, understanding, and learning for yourself that can only happen in the context of relationship. Now, if you want to brand it as a love relationship, that's another thing, because with the with the way people are attracted to each other, it's very easy to have a relationship where person A is attracted to person B, and person B is also attracted to person A, or not. But there is some kind of attraction. It goes this way. Like, you might be very strongly attracted to Honor, but is he attracted to you? And if he is attracted to you, what is the nature of the attraction and the context of the attraction? Perhaps it's very passionate, or perhaps it's very cerebral. Perhaps it's more to do with friendship. I think it's very much to do with learning and bringing yourself into alignment with stuff that you need to know about how this whole thing about love works. Loosely, you could I like to define love, if you want to define it. It's different for everybody. I think the one that I prefer is like, love is a deliberate decision to go above and beyond your natural comfort zone in order to offer spiritual advancement and healing to another, purely for that. It doesn't have to be reciprocal, and it doesn't have to be fun. A lot of times loving relationships are very inconvenient, like when a mother has a child, and if the child, let's say, has autism or is, let's say, mentally diminished in some way, that can be very, very hard to be a loving mother. But there are mothers who do it. Same with fathers. It's not the same for everybody. Some people can't handle that. And so to be loving would require tremendous amount of selflessness. Over here, the way I feel it is that it's really about learning. The only way you can learn is kind of like dive in. Like, be willing to accept the innocence and the curiosity about the situation. Then allow yourself to be drawn in further. Literally be further, and then allow yourself to learn what you need to learn in stages or increments in order to discover more. And a lot of things about yourself as an individual can only be learned in the context of a relationship. If you think of a relationship as a mirror, okay? I go into this a lot when I do deep dive personal readings, okay? Now, what are the challenges here? This is the Ace of Wands. Some people think of this as like the horny let's get it on card. I'm thinking of, now it's in a position of challenge here. So the way I'm seeing it is, again, with aces, it's a card of sacred opportunity. So that probably relates very closely to the nature of your question. Is this a love relationship? And also, is this going to be a love relationship that would have a sexual context? In other words, is there going to be mutually appreciative, passionate exchange between yourself and Honor? And it would have to be mutual. Mutual, sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. Where, in other words, it would be the fear that there would not be, because this card is in an awkward, but it's in the challenging position. So if there is like a component of the relationship that is to do with physical attraction, like you're attracted to him and he's attracted to you, but it's still early days and you're still in the process of discovery. He's probably in the process of discovery, and so on and so on. But let's say magnetic forces take you closer and closer together. There could be an increasing desire for, let's say, physical fulfillment and joyful physical sexual satisfaction, but also at the same time, that can be a very frightening thing for some people. Okay, it's like it can be very, very compelling. Like, I know I want that, I need that, I know that, I deserve that. But to get that, it means to be with this person or another person. And when you do that, and you're exposing your body to another person at the closest level of physical intimacy that is humanly possible on earth, that can be a very scary thing, no matter who you are, what age, what gender. And so some people are very attracted and they kind of go, oh, you're awesome. Ooh, ooh. Oh, man, let's get it on. Let's make out. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, we got a little bit too close. Oh, my God, I can't resist. I can't. Oh, wow, that's going to be so good. And then people kind of lose it. They kind of melt into each other, you know. And it can be a very scary thing for some people. It can also be simultaneously very beautiful, okay? Okay? Look at the notes. All right, let's have a look. How are we going to deal with this? Whoa. Okay. Wow, we got this. I would say this is a very fortuitous reading. I think it's like you're with the right person at the right time for the right reasons. It doesn't mean you're suddenly going to have this deeply passionate relationship. I'm not saying that it's going to be love and rainbows and marriage and beauty and wonder for until death you depart and all that kind of stuff. So with the Ace of Swords here, my feeling is that when I string all of this together, again, this is a card of sacred opportunity. I believe that owner has showed up in your life like magic. And you have shown up in his life like magic. And it's all about the learning. And it's all about the learning that can only happen by seizing the moment. This is very much about seize the moment so that you can learn and understand psychologically, mentally, spiritually, what's really going on. And now this would happen in the context of a physical thing. For example, let's say that you and owner somehow deep down have some kind of love language which keeps you going together. And as scary as it might be to have a physical relationship, full on making love type of thing, there's only one way you can learn about that. And that's to get on and do it. And then the learning experience changes you forever. Doesn't matter if you're already experienced or not. So I'm not saying just dive in and do whatever you want. All I'm suggesting, this is a card of sacred opportunity. To me, it suggests that this could be a tremendous experience to learn. Now, I'm not saying you're going to learn that everything's wonderful. All I'm suggesting, it's an opportunity for you to learn about you by jumping into what are obviously very basically opportunities, okay? So, and then you will basically get what you deserve. So in some ways you could say it's high risk, high reward. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to go back over here. Now you can see that there's notes from some of the other folks on the chat as well, because a lot of them are already readers themselves and they love to help out and support clients when they come in. Now let me go over here. I want to add something, okay, to ma'am. What I'm thinking is that this is all about sacred opportunity. It's you living your life, and the opportunities are there to learn. All I'm suggesting is that just be extremely careful. You've probably heard that from everybody and everyone anywhere, because to me it's kind of sad, because there's so much bad news that's associated with physical sexual relationships that a lot of people have kind of shut down. A lot of people are like, oh, I love you so much. Don't touch me. I just love you. Okay, you're awesome. I love you. Don't touch me. You know, and that can happen to anybody. Okay. So all I'm suggesting is that here's the other thing about that stuff. If you're new to him and he's new to you, and you don't know a lot about him and he doesn't know a lot about you, sometimes what people do is they just dive in and they keep their fingers crossed like, oh my God, I hope he hasn't got some kind of STD. And then the guy says, oh my God, I know what I'm doing. I hope she doesn't turn out to be some kind of psycho clingy, like whatever. You only learn through a chance of sacred opportunity. All I'm suggesting, if you feel that there is favorable and mutual attraction, and there isn't something really sinister going on in the dark in the background, then allow things to move forward in a very natural way, layer by layer by layer and layer, and learn as you go. And that's probably the best thing you can do. Again, it's a sacred opportunity. You don't have to do this. I'm not telling you you're destined to commune and you're going to end up with 3 babies. I don't do that. They're two very it's a large, powerful reading, okay? You've got the page, which is very sweet around you. So I believe there's a lot of sweetness and innocence here. You might as well take advantage of that if you sense that. So don't want to waste the opportunity, okay? Yes, I'm being very kind. All right, thanks to Maya. Go to bed, sleep well, think about it. Check in with us next week or the week after. Let us know how things are going. Alrighty, now let's move on. Thank you, Tamaya. Mr. Ross, we'll go up here. I don't know what happened to Kelly, so we'll see what happens. Maybe Kelly was just watching to see what happens, okay? No problem, Tamaya. Let's do this over here so I can focus properly. Thank you. Now, Gregory, oh yeah, you did put some notes earlier, but this is more precise. What is indicated regarding attorney Mary Lee helping me with my late mother's estate? Okay, so you actually have... Good night. Okay. Necessary, and we're going to keep this spot open for Kelly, all right? See what happens. See if Kelly manages to get through. All right, so what kind of messages do we have here tonight for Gregory regarding attorney Mary Lee in regard to helping the late mother's estate? She's hired, paid, and already on the case. Excellent. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. You know that. Just going to keep it very straightforward. A lot of you know we've been doing this for a long time, and we've kind of built up these momentum of dynamics about who we are, where we're going. And to me, it's very, very comforting to know that we can help each other in the way that we do, because I've received a lot of help from you guys out there. Cards are well shuffled. All right, let's dive in, Gregory. By the way, Gregory, I just picked up something. I'm not quite sure. Is Mary Lee a Southern lady herself? There's a reason I'm asking. I'm just going to hang it for a minute. There's a reason I'm asking. A very specific reason. I'll tell you once I get your answer. All right, here's the... let's have a look. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Very southern. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, excellent. So, Gregory, before we get on to this reading, I had a really powerful surge here. Before we get on with your reading, okay? I'm not going to try and fake the accent, but it made me feel like she has a traditional Southern, like Bible Belt type of accent, which is where your mother's estate was based, if I recall. Mary Lee Walker Brown. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't know. Does she wear glasses? Sort of like I do, where she has to take them on or off, or does she have bifocals where she's sometimes like that? Please, could you affirm? I'm asking, Gregory. This is highly specific stuff. Mary Lee Walker Brown. Okay, that's her. Okay. Well, she came in here. She's right here. Mary Lee Walker Brown is right here, and she's ready to fight. To me, it felt like, again, I'm not going to do the accent. I'm not a woman, but it's just like, it was almost like this, oh yeah, we're going to do this. I don't know what her colloquial language would be, but it's that kind of tone. Oh yeah, we're going to do this. Okay. Okay, so necessary is picking up a totally different vibe. Don't trust her, Gregory. I know TL goes around to be kind. He doesn't trust her, is the message. Okay. All right, this is going to be interesting. Let's see what happens live. Tarot Lumination. Yeah. All right, so let's go over here. Sorry about the direct. It's like we had a directly 180-degree impression. Let's see what happens, okay? Let's have a look. I may be completely wrong. But she definitely showed up here. Mary Lee definitely showed up here. I could see her. Let's have a look. Okay, so we got the Lovers, okay? No, it's not over. We got the Lovers. So I think what this is saying is that what's going to happen, to me it feels like, I'm just going to tell you, Gregory, it feels to me that Mary Lee is going to take this like a dog with a bone, and she's going to chew this thing to pieces. She's going to rip it to shreds in order to get to the root of the matter, which is about making really, basically forcing the very, very tough decisions that need to be made and forcing them to happen, okay? All right, so that's what I'm sensing here. This is the external energy. To me, the energy feels like a high pressure, like a pressure cooker situation, which, like in the legal term, legal interpretation would be, we're going to squeeze this thing till we get the decision that we need to prevail. It's going to put pressure on people who are not used to being pressured. That's probably the people who are on the other side of the table to you, Gregory, who are going to be pressured to make very tough decisions in order to reach the conclusion that needs to be reached. Okay. All right, let's have a look. Situation itself. All right, so we got the Knight of Cups here. My feeling, now we've had these kind of situations before with you, Gregory, where you're going into extremely hostile, potentially very hostile situations that need to be resolved. And a lot of people would come in with guns and bullets and books and paper and arguments, but what you're coming in is you're armed with love, okay? You're doing what has to be done to bring, like I would say, karmic resolution. And it's being done for a higher purpose. It's not really about, let's say, you winning. It's about resolving your mother's estate in such a way that things are resolved where you don't have like these, like it's done. Like we're taking care of business till this is done, so you don't have to go back through karmic recycling over and over again. Family, decades, reincarnation, blah, 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 all that stuff. Karmic resolution. Yes, karmic resolution, okay? And this is a reverberation, I think, from previous readings or previous events, which is one of your signature behaviors, is that when you go into battle, and you can be very fierce in battle, and people are can be very intimidated by you. I wouldn't want to be on the other side of you in a legal setting, okay? And my feeling is that you're going into this situation armed with love as the ultimate gesture, being love. You're going in being loving. Now, it might look like warfare and you're going to court, but you are being loving, and ultimately, the way that works, be loving, be loved. And so it's like somehow or other you have figured it out, or you already know, or this is just your calling card, this is just your signature, this is how you take care of business. And my feeling is that, I know Necessary said something else completely contradictory here, but it makes me feel like Mary Lee is very much on your side and very much intends to take care of business in a way that has to be done in the court setting in such a way that you don't necessarily have to do the really the hardest part or the dirty work. That's why you hired a lawyer, to basically put 1 degree of separation between you and the other folks in the courtroom, and you allow Mary Lee to do what she does to get the outcome that you need, which is to reach these conclusive decisions that have to be reached so that you can get to karmic resolution, okay? And you're the one who's instigating this with love. It's being done with love. It's like it couldn't be done otherwise. Let's put it that way. Now, what are the challenges here? Okay, the challenges on the material side are literally, how fairly is this all going to be divvied up? Okay, that's obviously, when you're talking about your mother's estate, we're dealing with money, property, and things like that. And there's a deep fear of, like, is this going to be fair? Like, are you going to get what's fair to you? Are the other parties going to get what's fair to them? Are you scared that you might not get what is due for you? Is this going to be actually worked out in a way that really is harmonious and balanced in terms of giving and receiving? Okay? It's an obvious fear, but again, what's that expression? Fear false evidence appearing real. Now, if you want to, you can let fear take hold. But I see something kind of benevolent here. Okay, so yeah, I know. The thing is, okay, everybody needs to know that Gregory reads cards as well. Okay, so let's just put that out there. So simultaneously as we're doing this, Necessary Truth is doing an interpretation, and Gregory is very likely doing multiple readings on the side, plus a reinterpretation of this as well, okay? Challenge is there's no money involved in my mother's estate. Okay, I thought it was about the house, which I guess has value. All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look here. How are we going to proceed? Oh, if there's no money, maybe, I don't know if you want to bleed it dry. I'm not, hold on, I'm trying to follow the chat there because it's turning out to be quite important to the reading. All right, okay, so let's keep going. How are we going to deal with this going forward? Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, no worries. Okay. So that's why it's like perhaps there is a question, is it even worth it? Maybe that's, I'm trying to, it's like we're not here in a live reading like we sometimes do. So I'm having to, all I have to go on is the chat here. So I'm trying to refine my understanding of the chat. That's all. Okay, so now I understand you much, much better. Okay. There's no millions to go after. Okay, and that would be great if there were millions to go after, and you could get your share, and others could get their share, and the estate would be resolved. Everybody goes on and lives their life. Karmic resolution. End of story. Close the book forever. Let's have a look going forward. Let's have a look. How are we going to deal with this? Wow, to me it feels you're going to have to trust Mary Lee. You're going to have to trust that Mary Lee can do her job and will do her job to resolution in a way that is as fair and equitable as possible, given whatever is in the estate. And it's a little bit scary because a lot of people here know that you, Gregory, are an attorney yourself, and you go to war to protect and defend and represent people, sometimes in very large situations, financially, where these people don't have the ability to represent themselves, and you do that. And now you are here in a situation where you have to bring in an attorney to represent you. So it might feel very, very strange, but honestly, the way I'm reading this is that you end up in a point is you've made this decision to bring in this attorney, and let's deal with it. Let's let it roll. The way to go forward is trust and understand that you don't know the exact outcome. You're not going to know the exact outcome until you know the exact outcome. And that's not possible without trusting or believing and allowing Mary Lee to do her job. Okay? And it's incredibly empowering when you can openly, I don't know how to do this. Hold on, I'm just going to have to share with you. Gregory. So, if there's already a sense of comfort between yourself and Mary Lee, and you're diving into this thing which is probably very uncomfortable, didn't have to go this way, but this is the way it is, and so you've got Mary Lee, and I feel that she's very much on your side. What I'm feeling here is with the Queen of Cups, and there's a huge amount of surrender here where it's almost like you're going to have to say, Mary Lee, I'm an attorney. You already know that. If I could resolve this on my own, I would have done it. Okay? But the way I see it, the only way forward is I'm a loving guy, and I need things to be done in alignment with the highest levels of what is good for all. What we're ultimately seeking here is karmic resolution. I don't want to ever go back to deal with this again. So I am trusting you, Mary Lee. I'm trusting you implicitly to deal with this. And when you do that, you could also rephrase it. You could do it. I would add 2 layers. Like, when you say it, I am trusting you, Mary Lee, that's an indication that there's a part of me that does not want to trust you. But I'm going to do it anyway. Okay? Now, there's a subtle but very, very powerful difference here when you kind of like take her by the shoulders and say, Mary Lee, I trust you. I trust you to take care of business and do what has to be done. And coming from the heart here, I trust you, Mary Lee, okay? Do what you got to do. That's how it feels to me. That's how this reading feels to me. She's still here. Hold on, Gregory. Give me a second. I think she's trying to tell me that you can trust me. Wow, to me that was kind of a crazy reading, Gregory. I mean, I don't know when I'm going to have a visit from someone. You know, like Necessary Truth, she does powerful mediumship that's often associated with people who are already on the other side, who've passed on. But it's a similar phenomenon when you're dealing with people in real life here on Earth now. And I can tell you for a fact that Mary Lee was here. Okay? For better or worse, she was here. And I think she did not influence the reading in any way. I think she was mostly observing and listening. I think she felt like she was privileged to be here and to learn and listen and be involved. And at the very end, I think what she was trying to do is, in summation, is basically, you can trust me. All right, now, Necessary has, it looks like a completely 180 degree. Okay, so I might be misinterpreting the context. Okay. All right, let's put this away. Necessary, you're up now. It's your turn. Kelly, I don't know where Kelly is. I think she went away. Icarus W. Faith will move mountains. Icarus. Isn't that one of those mythological creatures? Icarus. Icarus, wasn't that the name of the mythological Greek character who flew too close to the sun? Okay, here we go. I'm going to put these back in. We're going to shuffle up. We're going to read for Necessary. All right, let's shuffle it up, people. All right, here we go. I'm going to play one of my songs now. It's a fairly longer one. I'm going to play one of my songs, and I'm going to shuffle it up, and let's see if I can actually do this. called Waiting. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Wow, we did it. Think of this as like old-fashioned white reggae music. Imagine I'm a native singer from Hawaii and I play a ukulele.
I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Do 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 walking in circles, feeding all the birds, climbing up a mountain, looking around. Yeah, yeah, smelling all the flowers, staring at the moon. I listen to the waves come crashing down, down. Oh, oh, I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Smelling all the flowers, staring at the moon. Listen to the waves come crashing down, down. Walking in circles, feeding all the birds, climbing up a mountain, looking around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Gotta tune in to what the angels say. Waiting on the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. Do 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 I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I gotta tune in to what the angels say. I listen for the good news coming my way. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today. I'm waiting on the will of heaven today.
let's dive right in. All right, necessary. We're going to look at your situation with health here. You don't have to do anything, of course, necessary. You can just sit back, relax, and see what shows up. All right, well shuffled in advance here. Well shuffled right now, let's put it that way. Okay, this goes over here. Oh, and this goes here, and we're going to cut this up here. All right. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. And we're going to look at external influences. Obviously, from long-term experience, I tend to first look to the planets and then see if there's a secondary or tertiary message coming through and so on. So let's have a look. Okay. Calling in John, thanking team in advance, okay? Alright, let's have a look. So, Two of Wands here. Well, this is very much a futuristic kind of vibe here. The Uranus is very much, a lot of people associate Uranus with the future, breaking new ground for the future, cracking open, research, science, that kind of energy. There's so many things associated with Uranus that are to do with the future, like sci-fi, developing wacky new cool stuff. I think the internet and things like that. So let's say with the Two of Wands here that I would say this is a long-term approach. It's like when you're looking at health, one of the things I learned this many years ago from Kelly Rosano, your wealth is in your health. And so it's very important to take care of your health, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people just wake up and do what they do, and eventually your health or lack of health catches up with you. And I've seen it close up enough times, especially recently. And it's really scary. Like if you don't get on top of your health and do the responsible things, you can be like a victim of poor decisions or bad decisions, okay? And so with the Two of Wands, my feeling is that you're at a point in life where you're having to, you're very familiar with your strengths and weaknesses physiologically, and you've got to really start planning long term. And with the health matters, for some reason, I'm feeling like, how do I plan for health long term? And that would include, what am I going to do when I'm really old? How am I going to take care of myself financially when I'm really old? What's my health? What kind of health issues are inside me now, which are not a problem, but could manifest down the road as, real challenges. I've lived a very, personally, I was very negligent, very irresponsible with my own health for very many years, and I've kind of paid the consequences. And one of the reasons is because I was born what I feel in some ways extremely lucky, like I was born bulletproof. Like it didn't matter what people said to me or did to me, no matter how disgusting or evil or depraved or violent or vicious, I'm going to be okay. Literally, like, okay? But eventually, as a human being, we suffer wear and tear. And if I had known, it's going to sound like a real cliche, but if I had known then what I know now, I would have made different decisions and, let's say, altered my behavior quite radically. Okay? So, what I'm suggesting here is that it looks to me like you're at a point where you're starting to look really long term, like, how am I going to do this? Let's say you're fine right now. Body, mind, heart, and soul are pretty well aligned and you're in good shape, as good as you can be for now. But what about the long term? Long term. Okay. Because it has to be considered. Do you, like, some people start to think, like, what happens about Social Security? What happens about health insurance? What am I supposed to, what sort of planning should I do for my estate? Like estate planning, you know? Nothing to do with the previous reading. I don't want to get morbid or anything, but what am I going to do when I'm gone? Who's going to be, is there anybody there who's going to take care of me? Is there, how are we going to do this? Okay, I see a lot of open-ended questions here that need to be addressed. Okay? Alright, here we go. Let's have a look. Here's the situation itself. King of Cups. Whoa, okay. My first impression is a very kind of simple, almost trivial impression. Like, it would be so nice to have a very powerful, capable, worthy person at my side to take care of me when things turn to SHIT. Okay? But if that's not possible, then you end up in a situation where you're going to have to be in charge of this yourself. Like, you're going to have to pull this out of your derriere and make sure that your health... I mean, you've got John and Chris, all right? You've got the boys there. You've got the guys. I think you said earlier up in the reading you invited John and Chris to be here, okay? And they are there. And they will continue to be there. And that's really, really great. I think they really want you to know that. Like, they've got you. Dear Necessary Truth. You don't have to worry. We've got you. Okay? We're there for you. We're good at this. We're really, really good at this. And you don't have to worry. At the soul level. On the other hand, you are the one who's living your life in your physical body. And there's probably going to be all sorts of little tiny incidents through life over the long term where perhaps you overwork, or perhaps you, I don't know if you drink a lot of alcohol, I can't remember, or take substances, or maybe don't, maybe, oh my God. From what I recall, you do not have any really seriously unhealthy practices, okay? So, but there are times when it's very, very easy to screw up in just like just tiny little ways that can be very detrimental. Like, for example, I'm just going to throw in one thing here because I'm really pissed off about it. This is personal, nothing to do with your reading, okay? Necessary. It's just, I'm trying to add some context. Okay, necessary. I have loved my beverages ever since I was a little kid. 13, 14 years old, I started sipping on alcohol. It's been with me on and off my whole life. But I've had some very, very major setbacks because of alcohol. And of course, I'm a little more mature and stable now. And alcohol has been part of my life, but it's in very small, very modest amounts. Simply because it's very pleasurable for me. You know, like some people, they like to have their little, some people like to have their, and all of that, whatever it is. Some people have their little thing that's very soothing for them, and alcohol was mine. Now, I don't know if you have any little things that you lean on like that. All I'm suggesting is that a lot of us do, but you can get to a point like where I am right now in my own personal health. Even those little small modest amounts of alcohol are borderline taboo, borderline prohibited because of the treatments I'm getting for my conditions. So what I'm feeling here is that you might be at a point where no one's going to do this for you. It's you living your life about you. You're going to have to be your own health, like your own health monitor in 3D, and you're probably going to have to be constantly in touch with John and Chris and your healing angels and guides to make sure that you're on track. And if you do have a particular little thing that you lean on, whatever it is, then like pay attention. And is it really like an addiction of any kind? Okay. The next thing is what I'm sensing here is that it's almost like it's nothing to do with this card, but I think it's to do with the strength of the King of Cups, because the King of Cups is also about how to maintain power and equilibrium in situations of extreme, let's say, emotional, psychic turbulence, okay? And because you are a medium, it's very important that you maintain your shields and your defense and your posture, your health, your dignity, literally, I would say almost through exercise, like having daily exercises to make sure that you can maintain this level of authority, of sovereign self. It's not the Queen of Cups, it's a very different energy. This is the King of Cups. My feeling is the situation is that, there's a message here, is that you're going to have to be like your ultimate healthcare advisor. Definitely, of course, connect with very good providers of all kinds, whatever it is. Okay? So, whatever it is. But ultimately, do what you know is right for you. Like I've heard of plenty of situations with recently where people that we know and love are being prescribed all sorts of things and injectables and so on that are actually highly toxic. So you have to be very careful who your provider is and whether they really care about you or whether they care about the money or they care about bringing in as many clients as possible to fill up their calendar, so to speak. It's very important that you align with healthcare providers for the long term who are very aligned, and that's including traditional healthcare providers. I'm not talking about herbalists or chiropractors or anything like that. I'm talking about traditional healthcare providers, because at some point we all need them, and you need to make sure that they are 5-star rated in their field, okay? All right, now, what's the problem here? I don't really see a problem, but we're examining the situation. Okay, with the Justice card here in this reading, what I'm feeling is that deep down you've got some fear that there is some very, very old residual health issue which is coming back to haunt you, and you're scared that you'll never be out of its grip or ever be able to, let's say, take charge of this thing and heal this thing. And it's something that was either put upon you or you put it upon yourself maybe long, long ago. Maybe something that you've struggled with for a long time. And it's coming to the surface. Like it's time to deal with this and face it. Like one of the problems is that, like, if you have any kind of, even a very, very, very modest, like low grade condition that is being kind of like ignored because it's difficult, it's a very difficult subject, and you're at a position where you now know that I'm going to have to deal with this. I'm looking forward. I'm going to have to deal with things that I don't really want to deal with because I have to bring harmony and balance into my life, and I know it. Otherwise, I'm going to suffer. So how are we going to do that, okay? Okay, so how are we going to do that? Oh, okay. So necessary. The chat's going very fast for me. So I'm just... I haven't really caught up with much of anything, okay? So... with the Lover's card, going forward, this looks like a really kind of a serious reading. Perhaps, it's like perhaps you've managed to, I'm going to have to go over here. Hold on. To me it feels like you've done a really good job of managing to put some very serious issues to the side and do what I would call self-management, healthcare stuff, like you got it all fixed. A lot of people do this. It's not good or it's not bad, but it's what people learn how to do in order to stay healthy, in order that they can conduct their day-to-day lives. They figure out, like, I'm just going to give you an example so I don't have to tell you what to do or how to do it. It's better if I just describe something from me personally. Like over here in Las Vegas, I have, let's say, fallen into certain habits that are now routines. In some ways they're unhealthy, in some ways they're healthy. I like to get up early. I like to take care of my business slowly, and then I like to go out and get my little cup of McDonald's coffee. It's just a small size coffee. Now, for me, coffee is a very strong thing. I don't like decaf. I do drink it, but if I'm going to drink coffee, I like real coffee. I've loved it, again, like alcohol, since I was very, very young. And I have abused coffee. I mean, it sounds benign, but it is a heavily, heavily abused beverage, medication, because of the caffeine. Okay, it's very stimulating. So I try to be very careful, because my body is super, super light, super sensitive. If I have more than one cup of coffee, I'm like a jittering, like spaced out wreck. And then I crash with like anxiety and pressure and tension, okay? So I have to be extremely careful with just tiny amounts of coffee. And then later in the day, I like to have like a 20-minute nap. And in the evening, I like to have a beverage, my little alcoholic beverage. And these are well established, deeply entrenched patterns. The reality is, neither of them are actually healthy. There are reasons to justify caffeine and justify alcohol because, number one, they're legal, and they're very, very good at what they do when you think of just the effects of the caffeine and the alcohol. And there are whole economies that are built around alcohol and caffeine. Whole countries, you know. So I don't want to judge them, but the point I'm trying to get at is that I've created this like pattern. It's my pattern. And if I break up that pattern, I feel that there's something really wrong. Now, what has happened recently, because of upgrades in my healthcare, I'm basically forced to take alcohol from this tiny amount to this tiny amount, or preferably zero. And this pisses me off because I have to make really tough decisions to do that. And that's very hard for me to do, okay? Now, that's what I'm sensing over here for you, necessary, is that you're going to be in a situation, like it or not, in order to move forward and to stabilize and maintain health, you might have to be really, really tough on yourself and deal with things that you have preferred not to deal with for a long, long time. And the only way to do it is to deal with it. And that requires making really tough decisions. You know, when I do other private readings, I use my heart spread, for example. And some of you have worked with me before in private. You know that I believe that decision making is such a profoundly important part of evolution, spiritual evolution, financial, emotional, physical, biological, life evolution, decision making. Human beings have this faculty called decision making. A lot of people do not like to make decisions. They do not want to think. They want someone to tell them what to do, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, who to do it with, and why to do it, okay? Because it's too much. So in this situation, you can't get away with it. You're going to have to make some tough decisions in order to get to optimal health and to maintain optimal health. And my feeling is that one of the decisions may be to do with, eliminating any practices that you know are not actually good for you, but they have served as a very good, let's say, crutch or support system to get you through the day. Okay? The same way like with me and my little coffee and me and my little beverage in the evening. And now I have to be extremely strict on that. So there's a parallel here. So I understand your situation. And talking about this card and the tough decisions, well, I'm sensing that Chris and John are right here and they've kind of endorsed me on this. I hope I haven't hurt you with this reading necessarily. My feeling is they've endorsed me, and I'm going to do a little bit of acting here. Okay, it's like both Chris and John are kind of very serious. Like, Imagine say John is there and Chris is there. They look at each other, yeah, and then they look down at me, and they say, "You know what? We couldn't have said it better ourselves." It's all about the last card. Couldn't have said it better ourselves. Excellent. Excellent. There you go. It's a tough reading, and you're looking forward to the long term, and you know you got to do it, and you know you got to take care of it. I'm not saying you have to be a saint and live off, chemical-free everything, pure. You don't have to live off distilled water for the rest of your life. I'm not saying that. All I'm suggesting is that you get to a point where, like when I was a kid, I was totally abusive of alcohol, caffeine, and certain drugs. My body can't take it anymore. I would be in a hospital now at those rates, okay? So all of us have gone through our own health history, and you're at a point now where you know you're going to have to make these tough decisions, and they're decisions that you don't want to make, that you don't really want to do, but you know you have to do them, so you're going to do them. And that's how it is. You're going to be strong, you're going to be tough, you're going to be your own king of cups, okay? Got it? You're going to be fine because you know you have to be. You have work to do. You're still going to be on this planet for quite a while, so gotta hang in, all right? It's your life, it's your body, it's your health. All right. Let's have a look. Nova Star is up. I'm getting slight glimpses to the chat. It looks like there was some conflict going on. I'm trying to ignore it because it's not, in a way, it's not my business. It's happening here on the channel. Okay. What's that? Thank you, TL. Gotta do it. Oh, you're having to get off Adderall. Oh, Okay, I get it. Okay. Oh, Gregory. Oh my God. So you two have been at it. Yowza. Yowza. Okay, I'm going to blame it all on the planets, people. All the volatility. Hello, Luis Alvarez del Villar. That's a long name for me to say. That is a Hispanic name. I can't say it very well, but anyway. So, Novastar. Novastar, I'm going to actually see if I can scroll back through the chat without... did you leave me any notes, or do you have any notes for me, Novastar? I don't know. I can't... There's a long chat here, okay? So, dear Novastar, I need a pee break, okay? So I'm going to put on a little bit of music. I'm going to put on Terra Illumination's song. I need a pee break, and I'll be right back. And while I'm away, Novastar, to get you set up for this reading, could you kind of interpret it this way, where I'm not a fortune teller, and I can't fix your problems for you. All I can do you is shed light on the situation, okay? So if you've got a particular theme or a subject, maybe by the time I get back, I'll see it in the chat. Like, in other words, hello, Terra Illumination. Great to get this reading. What messages do you have for me tonight, Novastar? Or, what messages do you have for me tonight, Novastar, regarding the subject of ... Okay? Please put it in one word. If you do have a theme or a subject, please just one word. Like, health, finance, relationship, career, whatever it might be. So give me a few moments, folks, and I will learn. In the meantime, I ask you to enjoy a song from Terra Illumination. And I'm going to play... Did I play it very early when I started? I think I'm going to play I Am Healing, okay? Because that's about health. We all need... I mean, this whole channel is basically about healing, so, okay. Here we go. All right, here we go. Basically, everybody get up and dance. And if there's any weird vibes, let's break up the vibes, and I'll be back in a few moments. There we go. Shake it out, baby. I'll be right back. right. Nova Star, my physical health, heart. Okay, very specific. Let's do that. Hey Nova Star, just chill, relax. Don't worry about the chat. I mean, there's a kind of a street fight going on over there, so don't worry about it. It's not your business. Don't worry. All right. Now, sorry, thirsty work. Okay, everybody, calm down. I don't like to say that, but anyway, I felt I had to. All right, let's have a look here. Nova Star, specifically heart issues, okay? I'm going to shuffle it up a little bit, okay? Yeah, hey, I don't want to get in a fight about the donation. Nova, you're new. Typically, people put in 10, 20, 30 bucks, okay? Anyway. But anyway. Anyway, I'm grateful because that's half a gallon of gasoline and I need it. Oh God. All right. Let's have a look. We're gonna keep shuffling. It's okay, Nova Star. We'll make it up next time, or we'll see what happens, okay? You're a newbie. You've never been here before, I guess. I mean, all right. Oh my God. All right. All right, here we go. Yeah, I think Gregory's point is like it's not fair on everyone else who puts up sizable donations. I think that's the theme. My problem is that I just tend to sort of, I have a habit of giving stuff away. So I have to kind of remind myself to ask or tell. I don't have it displayed here like minimum. Perhaps I should put up like minimums, like 10 minimum or something like that. All right, here we go. So what kind of messages do we have here tonight for Nova Star regarding health issues, specifically the heart? All right. Now, I'm not a heart surgeon. I'm not a medical doctor or anything. And if you look deep into my channel, at the About section, it says that I am not a doctor and I can't cure you from, these certain types of things, and ultimately you need second opinions and all that. But sometimes these tarot readings are really good for people who can't get any kind of like sense or understanding from traditional sources, whatever the subject might be, finances, health, relationship, or whatever. And so they somehow or other magically end up at the Tarot Illumination channel, and we throw a little bit of light on the subject that you really couldn't get from anywhere else. So that's the beauty of the channel. I'm just gonna, I have to shuffle some more because I just flipped a card by accident. Sorry about that. Just going to keep going. All right, let's have a look. All right, let's have a look. By the way, Novastar, as a person who I haven't worked with before, if you want to get into a little more detail, you can get in touch with me here at my email, and we can do a private reading. Okay, now of course they're quite a bit more expensive, but it is literally one-on-one. And it's very much like this, and it's very much a combination of what we're doing right here, plus all of this. And it's all recorded and it's all private, and you get to keep a file. It's on a whole other level of readings, okay? Just letting you know. Wink, wink. All right, so yeah, let's have a look here. All right. All right. I'm going to cut this up very evenly. Let's go forward. Let's bless this deck again. Bless every single card. Bless the channel. Bless the microphones, the lights, the software, the algorithm, the computer, the chips, the monitors, all of that stuff, okay? Here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. All right, I'm going to look externally here, okay? Oh dear, oh dear. All right, all right, I'm trying to stay lighthearted. Okie dokie. Okay. All right. So it looks like there's a lot of activity in the chat. I'm trying to be. I don't want to get involved. Okay, it's 'cause a lot of that isn't my business. Novastar, please make him calmer. How would I do that? I can't make Gregory calmer. He is who he is. He does what he does. And this is a very rare situation. And okay, I don't know what to do. I'm not good at this stuff. I'm not very good at being like a boss leader, okay? Gregory, it's really obvious that you're pissed off. Really, really pissed off. And Gregory, this is turning into like a street fight, a bar fight, okay? I don't want to get involved. I don't want Novastar's reading to oh. Wow. Wow, no, seriously, I don't know how to handle this. I'm really embarrassed. I don't know how to handle this. I would not be a very good bartender, let's put it that way. All right. Gregory, we're just going to carry on anyway, okay? Gregory, you've been very generous in the past. You still are. All right, let's just do this. messages do we have for Nova Star? Right. Regarding heart messages. Okay. Well, I've got the Eight of Pentacles here, which is very much about money, also about work. But what I'm sensing is it might be, I don't know what you do, Nova Star, or what you do or how you do it, but when I look at the Eight of Pentacles here, and I pull up the chart for today, this chart is very, very heavily about money, global finances. This is the money axis, okay? Second house and eighth house, Taurus and Scorpio. South node is in Scorpio, north node is in Taurus, conjoined Mars, conjoined Uranus. It's a very, very powerful conjunction. It's extremely volatile. It's a perfect setting for like firecrackers to go off, okay? So what I'm sensing here is like with the overlap, Eight of Pentacles here, I'm sensing two. Well, I guess it's one issue: work for money. Okay. Now I can't. What's the word? We haven't worked together much before, but I saw the number 38. I think you said you were 38 years old. Okay? And if you are like a workaholic, or you've been a workaholic, or you have a history of being a workaholic, and that puts a lot of pressure on your heart, that needs to be acknowledged and stated up front. Also, if you're already having heart issues and you're scared that the health care that goes with it could translate into enormous costs, and then you're worrying about, like, how am I going to meet that cost? It's like a never-ending thing. The harder I work, the more I invest. Is there any benefit to it? Maybe you're already strong in your heart and you're looking for ways to improve it. Maybe maybe you know you have issues with your heart, like weakness with the heart, and you're willing to do the work to improve that. Now that could turn into exercise. This is a very physical energy. The Eight of Pentacles is very much about physical. It's about investing, especially investing for the long term. Okay? Now, I don't know much about heart science or heart doctors or anything. But from what I can tell, okay, let me go over here a second. The heart, from what I can tell, the heart responds very well to gentle and moderate exercise. In other words, to get it pumping above and beyond resting rate, where you'd be chilled on a sofa or relaxing at a table or asleep or whatever. So that's that's one of the aspects of the Eight of Pentacles that I'm sensing. Okay. Let me get into the reading a little bit further to get some better understanding. What's the situation itself? Judgment. Oh. Okay, so this makes me feel that maybe you've put too much stress on your life, physical life. Maybe jobs, work, finances are getting to you to the point where it's affecting your heart. And that doesn't surprise me. There are millions and millions of people on earth right now who are absolutely stressed up to the eyeballs about finances, and that can affect people's heart energy, okay? Oh, I'm paralyzed from the waist down. My medication for my heart, right? My resting rate is in the 90s. Okay. I see what you're getting on with. Excuse me. So, yeah, high heart rate, sure. Now, since you've divulged something that's pretty, again, I'm not an expert at these things. If your medication is putting, let's say it's a lot of work for you to just live your day-to-day life, just to get around from A to B, if you're paralyzed from the waist down, and you are on medications, okay, and the medications perhaps are a little bit like a stimulant of some kind. This makes me feel like with the Judgment card, like it's almost like deep down there is this profound screaming and yelling part of your body, mind, heart, and soul, which is saying, I wish there was a way I could be released from this burden. Now, the burden I'm actually thinking about is the medication, because it sounds to me like you know very well that the chances are that the high heart rate is tied to the medication, and the medication is tied to keeping you as healthy as possible while you are paralyzed, okay? It might mean you have to have extra stimulation for the heart. I don't know how that all works, okay? So, with the Judgment card here, this is like, to me, it almost feels like a cry for help. It's like this screaming desire to be released from these burdens. I want to be released. I want freedom. Obviously, you want freedom because of the limitations of the paralysis, okay? Obviously, it's not a problem. No one would judge you for wanting to be free or wanting, even crying in deep pain from your desire to be free from being paralyzed. I don't know if that's from an accident or from birth or what, or from being in combat or from a degenerative disease or whatever, okay? But this is a very powerful message that, God help me, I want to be released from this some way, somehow. Like, it's almost a question mark. Is there any hope? Is there any chance for healing so I can be released, so I can feel more free? I know there are cases, I've heard of people where they have certain therapies that can allow them to be healed from the paralysis. I don't know the depth of your situation. Okay? I'm sorry, Nova Star. That happens on my show sometimes. You got to reveal it to heal it. Sometimes tears can be the most powerful healing thing because it's a tremendous release, okay? Now, let's go have a look at the challenge here, okay? Again, this is a deep, deep fear. Like, even if I can find a way to be released from this, am I ever actually going to succeed? Am I ever actually going to be the hero that I want to be for myself? It's like I'm going to share something with you. I was in a wheelchair for months because my back was broken. No one would know today because I've learned to adapt around it very, very well. I have residual issues from my waist downwards all the way to the tips of my toes. But again, I manage very well. I was not paralyzed. I have a dear friend who just a few months ago ended up in the hospital finally to get major spinal surgery with a lot of hardware to repair and heal the damage of years of degeneration in the spine. She is now living a life where you wouldn't know there's a problem. Okay? There's not even any medications really to deal with it. I'm not on any medications for my back. She is very, very lucky to walk. I am extremely lucky to be able to walk and be mostly pain-free. It's the same for her. Now, being paralyzed, of course, is different. But myself, I was very close to losing everything below my waist, and so was my friend. So I was caught just in time, and my friend was caught just in time. So I have a little bit of an understanding of your situation. I do have like I can relate very strongly, okay? Okay? Okay, so it's been 9 years, you fell 4 stories, and it is a permanent loss. Okay, understood. All right. So, that's very tragic, it's very sad, obviously. Nothing to be done about that. So what are we going to do about it going forward? Let's go back over here. So, to me it makes me feel like there's this really sad part here. There's no cards of grief here at this point. To me it looks like it's a lot of work to be paralyzed. Okay? Obviously you wish you weren't. Obviously wish you could recover and it was not permanent. And there's this deep fear that you will ever feel like a winner, ever feel like you're happy, ever feel like you can succeed in physical life again. Okay? So, it's understandable, all right? Now let's have a look here. How are we going to deal with this going forward? If it's permanent and you're taking a certain medication that you know is affecting your heart, and maybe you're wishing you could get off that medication. Let's see what the story is here. Okay, well, my feeling is that there is a way and that there is hope. And it's because you ended up at the right channel at the right time with the right people for the right reasons. All of us here have issues, okay? All right, so with the Four of Wands, it makes me feel that going forward, please know that you are in good company and that there are aspects to healing that can occur so that you can feel like a winner and that your heart doesn't have to be in such jeopardy. Like I had to be. Okay, look at this. I'm just going to go back to me again, okay? Gregory. Okay, Gregory, it feels to me like you're being mean. Okay? I understand your concerns. I know. Gregory, we're buddies, all right? But you're being mean. All right, now, with the Four of Wands, what I was trying to suggest here is that it might be an idea to come back and visit us again every now and again and share your story. Like if you are in a situation where you know you're kind of at a landmark, you know you're permanently disabled from the waist down, you're on medications, you're on treatment, it's hard work, you wish for release, complete release from the situation, perhaps release from the medications so that you could have normal heart conditions. First of all, what I'm suggesting is before doing anything radical like saying, you know what, screw these meds, or screw it, the wheelchair, I'm just going to throw it away, I'm going to go berserk. That's not going to work, obviously. What I would suggest is kind of like the reading we had before with the health issues with necessaries. Think long term. Think, what are we going to do about this for long term? Hang out with some people. Everyone who comes here has had some major issues of some kind, okay? So, with the Four of Wands, really it's not, to me it's saying there's not a cure here in this reading. It's like you have found a group of people with whom you can relate. It's a little bit boisterous tonight. a little bit like a bit of a street fight going on there in the background, but we're good people. There's good people here. Gregory is a good man. You're a good man, Gregory. You're in good company, okay, Nova Star? And maybe we don't have any immediate solutions about the medications for the heart or any instant cures for being permanently paralyzed from the fall. But you're in good company, and that can really, really help. Sometimes people who are in your situation end up having lives that can be very, very isolated. And that can be really extremely, extremely frustrating, and you have to put in huge amounts of work just to take care of little tiny things that were just, you could just do like that before the paralysis. And now here you are, 9 years later, and it obviously still hurts, and it's going to continue to be a problem, but okay. All right. Let me wrap this up. So, I don't see any kind of cure here, any kind of remedy, any kind of solution to the heart issue. What I'm seeing here in the reading is that this has been a chance for you to express yourself and share your story, share your situation with a complete bunch of strangers. And the result is here on, we understand, okay? No one would want to be in your situation. You would want to be released. No one wants to feel like a loser. You want to feel like a winner anyway, even though you are paralyzed. So the way to go forward right now is to just say, you're invited to hang out with us. Please hang out with us again in the future. I'd like you to write to me personally if you could, please, over there, okay? Okay, over here. Nova Star, please send me a note over here. I got a couple tips for you. I'm going to wrap it up here, folks. That's everything I can do for tonight. I'm going to wrap out really fast. I'm going to wrap out of here really fast. I'm very proud of the readings that we've done tonight, and I thank you all for your generosity and sharing yourself so openly here tonight. And yeah, we're still here, okay? We are loving, we are loved, okay? We are loving, we are loved. Be loving, be loved. Okay? Okay. Ali, man, I'm just about to wrap up. Kelly disappeared because she doesn't have a way to do the payments or anything for the donations. I'm wrapping up the show because I've already I've done 4 readings, and we had really good readings, but things are very boisterous at the moment. So I'm basically closing up shop very rapidly, so we can all have a good night and everybody can chillax. I think everybody, we can actually, you know what we should do? We should do one of those live things, Zoom, so we can really, really vent, okay? Anyway, I'm going to wrap it out now. Let's see over here. All right. What am I doing? Yeah.